We're about to join the action in what is sure to be an interesting practice session here in Melbourne. It's not long until we get the session underway and we'll have some cars appearing out on the track.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my F1 career mode. And you may notice there's a few changes, apart from this weird thing that's talking to you right now, and yes, this is my voice. This is a thing that I decided to do for this season, seeming as a lot of people were asking for me after the last two seasons that I've done. But I've also moved over to PC now, so you might spot a few differences with the cars, where I've added some of the 2017 liveries to the cars. I've not done some of them yet. I did do the Force India, but for some reason it didn't load when I recorded this. I don't know why. I'll have to look into that when I next load the game, or whenever I have a chance to load the game. But the other changes are that obviously I'm at Ferrari now. I am going to start with 50% races on Legend. Depending on how that goes, I might move it up to Ultimate. Is that what I call it? Ultimate? Yeah, Ultimate. To just to see how it goes. But well, you just watched the practice program in the background. This is me getting a downforce upgrade, I think, on the Ferrari, and we shall now move on to qualifying.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly.
So the first qualifying session in this Ferrari kind of went well, to be honest. I mean, I just did the normal super soft run, to qualify, and then, it was a good lap. I mean, I can't remember where it put me provisionally. I think it was first, because I normally go out really early, and, I normally set the fastest lap, but then I go down the table as soon as other people set a fastest lap. But it appears I didn't go fastest this time, because Hamilton had already set a lap time before me. But obviously you can see there, I was 5th, is that? I can't tell by the display that I'm looking at here. 5th, and surprisingly Alonso, well, is it really surprising that because he's in the McLaren? I mean, is it really surprising that he's out of Q1 in the McLaren? Anyway, moving on to Q2, onto the soft tyres now. I decided to qualify on the soft tyres because I thought it'd be a better race tyre for the race, seeming as it's 50%, and I think they can go quite a long way in Australia. I remember, but I was thinking at the time that I would go soft than mediums in the race, do a one stop, and as you can see here, I got through quite comfortably on the soft tyres. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I was half expecting to be like 9th or something. But as you can see, Bottas tried to do the same thing as me and failed miserably. So, fool him. He is a loser. Anyway, moving on to the pole shootout. I decided, I was going to go full out for this, and I wasn't really, I wasn't really expecting to get into the top 2. I was more expecting to get, at least, that was not a corner go, at least, a 3rd, 4th maybe, with Vettel behind me, because for some reason at the beginning of the career mode system, that's how qualifying works when you're in a top team. I don't know why, it's just how the game works, and it's stupid. But I somehow managed to get 2nd place. I don't know how, but I got 2nd place in the end, and somehow that worked. I mean, Rosberg got 1st by, I can't see how much that is, you'll probably tell me. Then it was Hamilton, then Ricciardo, then Vettel, then Verstappen, Massa, Grosjean, Sainz, and I think Hulkenberg at the end. So it was pretty mixed up top 10 really. The grid was all a bit all over the place really, because people were qualifying on softs in Q1 for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why they started doing that really, because it doesn't really matter if you qualify on softs in Q1 because you don't use them in the race at all. It's a weird way to do it. But as you can see here, going through all the driver stuff, was obviously getting that, and then listening to the email from my agent Emma, giving me the objectives for qualifying, and now we shall move on to qualifying.
They say that even a second is an eternity in Formula One, so going 4 winter months with no racing at all has seemed a very long time indeed. We're back though in Melbourne, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, a former F1 competitor, man who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction. I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
Excellent job yesterday. We qualified above expectations. Let's go out there and put in a performance.
So obviously the engineer hasn't seen my past 2 seasons with outperforming the car. I mean, how was qualifying second in a Ferrari outperforming the car? I mean, yes, this is the beginning of a new save, and, you know, it does kind of say that Ferrari is like the 3rd best car on the grid. But, you know, it's like, it's Ferrari. You know, they should be, like in real life. Vettel got second on the weekend, and somehow, you know, it's like, oh, that's overachieving. I don't really understand it. But as we go to the start of the race, then we have the lights are coming on now. We've got 5 lights, and they are out for the Australian Grand Prix, and we're off here. And Hamilton's got an amazing start, although he's going to get pinched by his teammate and me. We're going to go down the inside. He's run a bit wide, and we've got the position back. Well, that's a start that I wasn't expecting. But Rosberg has just vanished. I mean, he's done a Vettel. He's done a Vettel. However, I think he was on older super soft tyres at this. I don't know whether they were like degraded more than my tyres. I mean, he probably done, I'd say, about 2 quali sessions maybe on those tyres, and I'd only done 1 on these tyres. But as you can see, I'm gaining a lot of time in the corners, and I don't know what was wrong with Rosberg, but I was just gaining a lot of time in the corners, and the braking as well, as you can see there. And then I'd just get in a slipstream, as you do on F1, and you know, it's just like this corner is like slipstreaming galore down here. I get a better exit, and voila, we pass him. Spoiler alert. I mean, it shouldn't be a spoiler because we go down the inside of him, and then voila, we're past him. And then that was pretty much it then until lap 3, I think. Yeah, lap 3, where there's been an incident behind us and Lewis Hamilton is out of the race. That's fairly curious. I don't know how it happened, so let's look at a replay. Here he is coming around the corner. He's only just behind us, and he has an engine failure. Oh, F1 2016, how can a Mercedes get an engine failure when they normally don't get any engine failures ever in real life? Although they have had a few. Anyway, on to lap 9 now, coming into for our first pit stop, because nothing happened after that. I just pulled away and kept the gap to Rosberg. I did change the strategy a little bit from the beginning. As you probably saw at the beginning, I was going to go on to mediums and then until the end of the race, but then I thought that the mediums wouldn't last, seeming as the softs were degrading so fast as I was going around. So I decided to go on to another set of soft tyres and see how that went. As you can see, Ricciardo was also on soft tyres, So he, kind of didn't really do that. That was not a corner cut, by the way. And then Rosberg and Ricardo kind of came into the pit lane, and nothing happened again in that stint. Coming into the pit lane again for medium tyres now. I decided to go to the mediums from this point onwards because I felt that they would last from this point and they wouldn't degrade as much as they would have if I would have done a one stop. Because if I did a one stop, they would have been almost dead by the end of the race, really. And it's like that was not a voice crack either. Just saying. And it's like Ricardo and Rosberg also stayed out. And it was interesting that Rosberg was on medium tyres, but Ricardo was on softs. And it was really interesting, because as you can see, as I come around the final corner here now on lap 21, Ricardo is in the pits, and he's fitted a set of super soft tyres. So he's going to be very fast at the end of this race. And as you can see on this next highlight, coming around the final quarter, the next lap, and Rosberg has also pitted for super soft tyres. So those two are going to be catching up at a rate of knots, as you can see by these next two highlights. If you look at the top left where my name is, you'll see the times come up now. I can't quite see what that is. 6 seconds maybe. I think it was 6 seconds or 8 seconds. I don't know. And then this next lap, I think, closed by about 5/10 or something. I can't see it. One of you will correct me in the comments, probably. It's like, and then he goes as fastest lap as well, just to add insult to injury. And then on the 26th lap, oh dear, Sebastian Vettel has retired from the Grand Prix, and here is why. I wonder what this could be. Oh, it's an engine failure. Oh, what a surprise. Oh, this game seriously needs to have more failures. I mean, it just gets repetitive. Anyway, coming around the final corner on the final lap, just in front of Rosberg. Yes, that proximity driver was for Rosberg, to win the first Grand Prix of the season. I mean, I wasn't expecting to win it. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you think I should go down to Ultimate, or go up to Ultimate even, because of this race. I mean, I know there wasn't much action, so let me know if you want me to go to Ultimate difficulty for the next race. I'm still going to do 50% races. I mean, no doubt about that. But it depends really if how much action is in it. Really, if I do Ultimate and 50% and then there's no action in it, I might just do Ultimate and then 25% where there's more stuff happening. Maybe, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. But as you can see, there's Alonso getting out of his snazzy new McLaren, and there I am in the brand new snazzy Ferrari overalls with the new car, as you can see there, with the new livery. Looks very lovely indeed. Don't know if you noticed in the background of the podium, I've also added some modifications to the tracks as well, so they look more realistic. So I don't know if you enjoyed that. And there's also another little thing that I added, but let me know in the comments if you noticed it. Anyway, the final standings were: I finished first, Rosberg second, Ricardo third, Sergio Perez in fourth, wow, with a one stop. Bottas in fifth, Verstappen sixth, Button seventh, Massa eighth, Alonso ninth, and Gutierrez gets in the final point with his teammate right behind him. And then as you can see, the normal runners down there at the back of the grid. So if you enjoyed this episode, oh, and by the way, I will have the constructors and the drivers standings in the next episode. It's just, with this being the first episode, I thought, what's the point of putting them in? They're just going to be the same anyway. They're all going to be obvious. And also, I'm going to skip the German Grand Prix. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to simulate it, and then I'll show you the results of the Grand Prix after the German Grand Prix, so maybe that'll work. I don't know, but if you enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and a comment, and I shall see you in Bahrain.